Hey there, I'm back. Second week. What do you know? I've made it 2 weeks in a row. So here's entry number 2 for the progress vlog, whatever you want to call it. Um, so I'll start it off with the what's good news for me. For those of you who don't care, what can I do? Um, upon this week's weigh-in, I have indeed lost weight. It's working. What I've been doing is working. As you remember last time, we started out right around 304, almost 305 pounds. I am now down to 299.8. All right. So I know that's only point 0.2, but gosh dang it, I'm below 300 pounds. What do you know? So that's a weight loss of, because I started at 304 something. That's a weight loss of a little over 3 to 4 pounds. Um, that's pretty good. From past experience, I'll tell you right now that I know when I first start counting my calories and stuff, things that I'm doing, um, it comes off a little faster for the first couple of weeks. I will have like 4 or 5 pound um, weight losses. What my goal is for health, a healthy weight drop, is 2 to 3 pounds a week, and they say that's fairly healthy. You don't want to if you take it off too fast, you're doing something crazy or something to your system, I guess. And so it occurred to me that if I keep being successful, whoever's out there watching might want to know how I'm doing that. So first and foremost, the first thing I'm doing is I'm counting my calories, and I have found, and total disclosure here, I am not sponsored by anybody. I'm not going to say no if some of these companies want to sponsor me. Oh heck yeah, I'll take some sponsorship money. But I am not sponsored by anybody. I am just putting this information out there because it's working for me. So there you go. So there's an app out there called the MyFitnessPal by Under Armour. I have found it to be extreme. I don't buy the premium right now because you can actually pay for a premium version that gives you all kinds of extra details. The actual free app that's out there is very adequate for me. It helps me count my calories and the nutrients that I'm taking in. It helps me hook up with other apps they have, which I'll talk about in a little bit, to track the exercising I'm doing, and add that onto my whole thing so I know what kind of calorie intake I can do for the day and try and keep myself healthy. And I find that, once again, full disclosure, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a diet expert, I'm not a physician. I am just going by what has worked for me in the past and how I deal with certain things. And I have found I can get through a diet more if it's not a diet. A lot of diets just flat out tell you don't eat this, don't eat that. You can only have this, or some of them have their own foods that come with them and things like that. For me, it just doesn't seem to work. This is something that I have to live with my whole life, and I'm not going to live with eating a certain brand of food my whole life. No matter how much variety is in that brand, I just can't do it. And I'm not going to live with certain things that, hey, I like this, I want to have that now and then. And there's the key right there. For me, I'm successful. It doesn't trigger my natural rebellion if I'm not told you can't have that. But if I am reasonably told you can have that once a month, or when you do have that, pizza's a big red light one for me. When you do have that, hey dummy, don't have 5 slices, have 2. All right. Now a lot of that, there's some of you out there are probably going, well, duh. Okay, I have to tell myself that mentally because you put a pizza in front of me, I'm gonna try and eat that whole damn thing. I'm telling you right now. Oh wow, I am a pizza fanatic. I love that stuff, but I do, and I have to force myself to say nope. I'm gonna take this slice, and then we're done. So portion control is the big thing, and that app that I mentioned helps me do that because it keeps me honest. It tells me this is how much you can have, and when the pizza gets set in front of me, I look at it and say, okay, I've got this many calories for the day, and a slice of this many calories, that means I can have this many slices, and then we're done. And it's usually 1 or 2 slices, and that's it. But that goes for all food. It's a fantastic app. And as I was saying, one of the other things I've been doing is I've been kind of doing a liquid type of breakfast. I've been doing those protein shakes and things. And that isn't because I'm purposely trying to skip a meal to make things go easier for weight loss. I did the last 7-8 years of my career on night shift, 12-hour night shifts. My sleeping pattern has slowly caught up to a more normal sleeping pattern. I generally go to bed about midnight because I'm a night owl, midnight, 1 o'clock, and I will generally get up about 8:30 in the morning. One thing that hasn't caught up yet is my eating pattern, because when you work night shifts like that, your eating pattern is bizarre. When most of you are eating breakfast, I'm going to bed when I was working. And so that's the kind of pattern I'm on. And so I'll wake up at 8:30 in the morning, and I am not hungry. But I know it's not good to completely skip meals. It's one of the first things almost all the diets tell you is you can't put your body in starvation mode. And it's good to start your system going in the morning, because then it's easier for it to just take care of what you're intaking throughout the day. And so I have to get some kind of calories in me in the morning, but I'm absolutely not hungry. I cannot force myself to eat. And so that's been my solution so far. For now anyway, I think once my system kind of catches up and realizes, hey, you can actually eat in the morning, I'll actually start eating, a light breakfast of something and stuff like that. But for now, I'm doing shakes in the morning, protein drinks in the morning or whatever, and then I'll have a lunch and a dinner. And if I have calories left, maybe a light snack in the evening. So far it's working. A little over 4 pounds lost, and that's through counting calories and things like that. But the other thing it is through that I've been doing is walking. I've been walking out in the park. So, it's been pretty nice. And it's helped me get in shape for my ultimate goal. Again, this is hiking for health. I want to get out there and start hiking. And so I've got to get myself in shape for that, and that means walking. And so out there in the different little areas I can walk in my area, and I'm breaking in my new hiking boots to do it. So I'll put those on, and I'll take myself for a walk. And so far my walks have averaged probably about 1.5 miles, 2 miles per walk. And one of the things I use is, again, that MyFitnessPal. The same company, Under Armour, also puts out Map My Walk, Map My Hike, Map My Run, almost any kind of those types of exercises. They have an app for it that you turn it on, and it tracks how many miles you did for how long, and can tell you how many calories you burned, and it can hook right into the MyFitnessPal app, and so it does it all for you and calculates it. So that's been very nice and very helpful. So I use those. The only problem I've been running into in the last week is my great state of California. We've been in a drought for like 5 years. Not anymore. We've been having this for the past week or so now. Yeah, so how do you like that? That kind of puts a damper on walking. Now I know when I get out there, if I actually get out there and do that PCT or the long through hikes, when it rains, it rains. I remember being a backpacker in the past. And yeah, and when it rains, I'm not going to shy from it. I'm going to hike in the rain and things like that. But for training purposes, no. So I have a stationary bike at home to help support me on the days when I can't go outside. Because as you saw there, it's raining hard. I thought maybe I'd get in a nice evening walk. Nope. Because it's been going, and I mean it keeps going, and it keeps falling. So, and it's been for days, and the forecast is for it to last several more days. I mean, at least the rest of this week. I think we're supposed to be clear on Saturday and Sunday coming up, and then more rain after that. So lo and behold, when I finally start my my workout regime and it's going to be outside walking and hiking and things like that, that's when the drought breaks. Woo! And we actually get a real winter full of rain. But I'm thankful. I like the rain, and that's going to mean good stuff for the summer. The snowpack is really huge up there in the mountains, and that means when I finally do get out there to do some backpacking, there's going to be water sources. Some of the other things I do, my wife is an avid kayaker, and I have picked up a fondness of kayaking myself. It is a lot of fun, and so I like to go out there with her and the family and do some kayaking, and all of this rain and snowpack is going to improve on that too. All the lakes and the rivers are going to be flowing, and that's pretty cool. So I'm glad the drought is a breaking, but it's hard to hike in this. But that's how it is. So you know what? That's about it for this particular update. So there we are. We're down to 299.8, technically under 300 pounds. And I hope to continue that so I can widen that gap away from 300 and keep going. And that's a little bit of how I'm doing it. I'm doing it mostly by counting my calories. So I'm not denying myself certain things that I like. I'm just not eating as much of them. And I'm trying to keep myself balanced. I'm eating a certain amount of protein, trying to balance my protein, my fiber, and my salt intake because of blood pressure issues and things like that. So I am watching all that, and I'm doing a lot more walking, not sedentary anymore, and that is about how I'm doing it. So hey, there's update number 2, vlog number 2. Hope you're with me. I've got a couple of more things planned for the channel besides just vlogs. Obviously, when I actually get out there and start doing some real hiking, I'll be recording that with the old GoPro and my phone, and taking some records of that and talking about that. I also plan on, because I am also a historian at heart, when I do cover some of the places I go hiking, we're going to talk a little bit about where they came from, how they were founded, and I also want to talk a little bit about this fascination I have and this love I have for a trail I've only been on bits of so far, the Pacific Crest Trail. How did it get started? Maybe a little history on that. Just to try to keep the channel interesting and more than just me sitting here talking to you. So there it is. But you know what? Thanks those of you who are sticking with this and decided, hey, I want to see what's going on with this guy and see how he does. Hey, I appreciate it. If nothing else, if I get an audience of 0 or 1 or 2, whatever, I'm putting it out there to keep me honest. That's ultimately it. And if that gets me to my goal and I get down to 200 or less than 200 pounds and I'm out there hiking like crazy in the mountains and I've still only got a viewership of 0 to 2, I'll live. But if my crowd grows, I just want you to know I do appreciate it, and I hope maybe you can take whatever I'm doing and use it for yourself. So thank you very much, and hey, we'll see you next week.